Today we have Adam Taylor back on the show. So, Adam, I know a lot of people know you already, but for those who don't know you, can you please share a brief intro, I guess your background and how you ended up in this crazy space and essentially why, I guess, what you've accomplished, and that way people know who's about to serve them some hot sauce. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, first up, thanks for having me back on for round two. I really enjoyed round one, and I'm very looking forward to today. So, going to be making sure we get a high return on our attention today for your audience. So, yeah, my name's Adam. Born in England, grew up in Spain. Played professional rugby for 9 years straight out of school. That was my first ever job. Finished my career in Germany. Got into the gym industry. Started on reception, just mixing people's drinks, and started becoming a personal trainer. Then they've asked me to manage a gym. That turned into two. I left that to then have my own CrossFit box over in Germany. Grew that to two as well. By the time I left that, just before COVID, when I transitioned into business coaching CrossFit gym owners across Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. That was 3 months before somebody had a bat somewhere in China and decided to shut my target market down. So battled through COVID with that. Eventually threw in the towel, just didn't really know how to help people anymore. Just like people were saying, thanks, Adam, we know what we need to do, but we don't know when this is going to end. And I was like, I feel you. I do the same. So that obviously left me with a couple of skill sets I'd acquired. I knew how to market, I knew how to sell, I knew how to coach. And I fell into the high ticket space just through a post in a Facebook group. I recognized the guy as a success story of Taki Moore. And I was like, oh, I know that name. And then he was looking for a closer who ideally had their own or had experience in their own business coaching business. I was like, oh shit, that's me. A couple of attributes I'd like to think, kind of describe me well. And I was like, this is sounding more and more like me. And then he said in the post that his average closer, his closers had earned on average $167,400 or something last year. And I was like, how much?
Yeah.
I was like, hold on. These guys didn't market for these leads. They didn't nurture them. They didn't have to generate any, they didn't have to fulfill on them. They didn't have to coach them. They didn't have to set up any back end. They didn't have to invoice accounting. They didn't have to do any of that. And they earned that much money. I was like, let me send this guy a message. So they gave me the role. Absolutely loved it there. So that was 2021. So I've been in the high ticket space now officially for about 3.5 years. Ran the whole gambit, closed, set, DM set. Was very fortunate to have the opportunity to coach, hundreds of reps alongside Bill Walsh in the objection box in the early stages of that. It was a phenomenal experience. That led me to then be offered a position to manage a sales team. So the first sales team I managed, we took from about $300,000 in revenue, just under $1 million a month in 5 months. And then this past year, managed to leverage that skill across multiple offers through a done-for-you sales agency model with the guys at Nomadic Closer. Phenomenal experience. Phenomenal experience. Well, not without its struggles. And funny enough, the struggles that we found in the agency model were the exact same struggles that closers are experiencing today. And that's led me to do a tremendous amount of research and start questioning a lot of the things that we're experiencing and the inherent downsides that are built into the high ticket space. And some of the findings have been eye-opening. But that's me in a nutshell. And that's led us to right here, right now, today.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Very well stated.
Thank you.
So yes, you've accomplished a lot in this space and you've seen what's possible in this space, earnings wise, career potential wise. However, you've done some research lately, and why we're here today is because I attended a recent webinar that you did where you essentially pulled down the pants of the high ticket space and exposed the truth of what's going on, what most closers are experiencing. So I'm curious, what actually led you to doing that research?
It was a combination of things, and I'm definitely stealing that line of pulling down the pants on the high ticket space. That's going straight in my next post, so thank you for that.
You're
welcome.
Worth
it already. It was a combination of factors. One of them was the experience in the agency model, working closely with offer owners, business owners, marketing departments, and just seeing the perceived personal opinionized lack of competence in a lot of areas. And that made our job very, very hard running a sales team profitably. Not that it was impossible, but it was a battle. It was an uphill battle to understanding a market, an avatar, a sales process, helping to pre-sell people, not jamming people from cold traffic from an ad to a 3-minute webinar, VSL, and then expecting a one close call for 20 like to extract $25,000 from someone. Things that we all experience and know in our day to day as closers, I was experiencing as well, and it was just getting harder. That was one thing. And the second thing was actually meeting a guy about a year ago who 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 has a company that services salespeople, or people in this industry that I'm helping people transition to now. And I was sick of hearing how much money his people were making on his system. I'm talking like $62,000 in the first 4 weeks without having sold the thing before.
That's insane. And can you people might think this is revenue, so they're taking home like 6K. Like when you break down what that means, please, because I needed to hear it a few times to understand.
Yeah, so that's actual commission. So that's business submitted to be able to earn that amount of commission. I couldn't believe it. He told me the story of a little old lady, Ellie Juarez, mother of three, $101,000 in her highest month. David Fisher, $184,000 in 1 month, and I was like, "What do you do? What are you doing?" Now, unfortunately, I was like, I want to sell this. I want to do this. It's as a UK citizen, unfortunately, I can't take advantage of the opportunity myself. But for US citizens, it's an industry that's kind of hiding in plain sight. And once I started doing the research on, okay, well, what's the state of affairs in the high ticket space? Like, what are people earning? What are the typical struggles? How long are offers existing? What's the turnover rate? Like, what's going on compared to this industry? And the stats were just mind-boggling. Like, you have a 0.5% chance of hitting consistent 30K months in the high-ticket space right now. The average high-ticket closer is earning $67,400 a year. The top 10th percentile is earning $220,000. It's not even 20 grand a month. Yeah. And yet, in this industry, the average person is earning $147,600, and the top 10th percentile $507,600.
That's wow.
Now, here's the kicker. Yeah. That industry has a fraction of the sales training, sales acumen that the high ticket space has. And so doing more market research, not just into the stats, but then actually going out and interviewing, I was able to interview 19 closers in the space of a week to verify and validate this data. And everybody, the vast majority, I don't want to quote the statistics right now because I don't remember them exactly. But the vast majority got into the space to earn 20 to 30K months and have some level of time autonomy. And yet, on average, they were earning, reportedly, I never checked their bank accounts. Some people have given me pushback on this, but I can only go on what they said anonymously, that they're earning $10,500 on average. That was the average across the board. And they're working on average 9 hours to do so.
9-hour days. It's like, you might as well work a 9 to 5 at that point.
I think so.
Yeah.
And so they all see the value of investing in themselves. They all take responsibility for acquiring a skill set, acquiring more leverage to hit those goals. And yet the vast majority expressed frustration and disappointment in the results or lack of results that they got back out. And so the very thing that they want, the very thing that we all want, is more time, more money. And yet everything that's going out is more time, more money. They're spending $9,000, $10,000, $15,000 on sales training, spending 8, 9, 10, sometimes 11-hour days. I think the stat was 1 in 4. 1 in 4 was over 10 hours a day on average.
Yeah. And I'm one of those, like, I work crazy hours, and people always ask me, like, oh my gosh, like, how do you consistently make over 30K a month? And it's like, I always have to let people know, like, I work an egregious amount of hours, and I don't necessarily want to glorify it because it's not sustainable, Yep. And so I'm curious, why do you think the industry went downhill in this direction because on paper, it looks like a perfect situation. Plenty of coaches who have high ticket offers who need closers. Why is it not perfect?
So I don't have data to back this up. This is my personal opinion, my anecdotal opinion and experience in market trends, which I'm getting big on studying and understanding now. As I mentioned in the webinar, I think the more that you understand and study market trends, as boring and as like sounds like I read a fucking newspaper every morning. Like it's not that. It's just understanding that 46% of all private equity investments this very year have been into AI. When you understand that, it makes you wonder, okay, well, in 3-5 years, should I maybe have figured AI out? Should I maybe be leveraging AI? Should I maybe be in an environment where AI is a valuable proposition to people, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's going to happen 3-5 years down the line? I'm going to be paying people that know how to leverage AI. I'm going to be buying AI products and services, and therefore I'm going to be used by that market trend rather than being able to capitalize on it. That's to preface this. If we know that I can take an anecdotal experience from the CrossFit industry. I was deep in the CrossFit industry. CrossFit had a very rapid rise, which meant that the market grew very, very quickly in quantity. Lots of people were, paying their $3,000 a month, $3,000 a year license fee, renting out an old warehouse, dusting off the cobwebs, chucking a couple of barbells in, and training people. Great, awesome. Raise awareness. People are getting fitter. People are getting healthier. People are being made aware of this industry. Phenomenal. But what happens when it grows in quantity like that is it will very naturally, it'll expand and then very naturally contract into quality where only the best then stand out and survive and capture market share. So if I've now got 5 CrossFit boxes in the space of a 10-minute drive, now I have a choice to choose the best one. And so what's going to happen to the other 4? Making sense so far?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, the rise of so many coaches. Like if you just even pick one niche, business coaching, there's so many. So
Right.
that makes sense. Okay.
And
Yeah.
so if the market has expanded like this so rapidly and quickly, which I it's a good thing. Like I understand that a lot of my content comes off a little bit as criticism of the high ticket space. If you just please just read the words slowly again. There's not a bad word to say about it. It's how have I lived the last 3.5 years? I've had a phenomenal time. I've met amazing people. I've made great money. I've had fucking tough times as well. Mental challenges. Like I know every single 9.9% of the 9.9 out of 10 people that are watching this will have had as well. There's no criticism in the high ticket space. It's a natural occurrence. But yes, with the expansion I feel coming a contraction. And this is what people are feeling where they're saying it's hard to find a good offer. That's because they're becoming less and less. It's a stat. It's a fact. It's an anecdotal experience that we're all having. And it means that we're now having to go to extraordinary lengths because with the expansion of business coaching or alternative education, alternative services, things like trading algorithms suddenly popping up and blowing up, blowing up in 2 ways. So,
Yes.
so has the rise of the remote sales space become as a biz op, right? As a business opportunity
Yep.
to become a closer. Rapid expansion. Now we're seeing a contraction. Now, to be able to find those high quality offers, you need to be a high quality sales rep, and you just factually have to expend more effort and be better in lots of different areas to achieve that. Not a bad thing. When I played rugby, I didn't just play a bit of rugby with my mates. I played professional, I played internationally for Spain. Like I haven't ever done things half-assed. I do identify as a smart, lazy person though. If I can find a way to get the result easier, I'm doing it. And so now, having seen the stats and the figures and the facts of what's happening in the space, my bubbles burst, and I see the inordinate amounts, lengths that people need to go to get into that top 10th percentile. It just makes me wonder if I were to expend that amount of energy in an industry that is 93.6 times larger than the high ticket space entirely, that has a 740% higher likelihood of you hitting consistent 30K months, is my energy and time better spent there?
Yeah. I feel like everyone needs to pause for a second and digest what you just said. because those numbers are crazy. Like, I think once people enter this high ticket bubble, we see this as like, this is the best option because we're going from the 9 to 5 world. So we are literally in a bubble where we're closed off from the other possibilities.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think that from what I saw in the presentation and everything, like this is a really great move for people who are burnt out, who are tired of the BS, offers getting shut down left and right, business owners deciding to fire the whole team because they had a bad month. Like I've literally seen this happen so many times.
Mhm.
So I know everyone's probably curious, like, okay, what the heck is the secret industry? Can you please share what that is and
Yeah,
yeah, how people can get into it?
yeah, absolutely. So I think it's also important to note, and I swear I will say what it is in a second. But I think it's important to note that the extra expense and the extra effort and the sort of tired of the BS thing that we're experiencing. My big goal with all of this, my genuine heartfelt goal, is to give another option, is to give another alternative route, is to give like a parallel lane for people, because I think the people that really resonate with this are probably the people that did the market research with me were on average 3.6 years into high ticket. If you're in your first year, I don't, personal opinion, not a fact, personal opinion, I think you should keep going. Keep mastering the craft, keep experiencing in the industry, keep getting involved, keep plugging away at it. I think that's a little, in my personal opinion, everybody can do what they want. I think it's a little bit too soon. Once you're 3.6 years into it, working 9-hour days for 10.5 grand a month, that's when I think I'd like to give people an option, and I'd like to give people an option so that they don't feel that it's all on them. Because what are sales trainers and marketing and even sales managers and offer owners saying? You're just not good enough. You just got to get better. You just got to close more deals. You just got to do more follow up. You got to be more digital. You got to fight harder in objections. You got to role play more. And so we're also trained and conditioned to take extreme responsibility. And that's, again, no criticism. It's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
We all should. But at what point are there external factors which I can bring into play to not say, fuck, I just suck. I'm just not cut out for this. Why the fuck did I get in myself into this? Now I've given up all that security in that 9 to 5. I don't want to go back to that. I feel stuck. That's my heartfelt goal with all this. And so the industry that we've now opened up to, and the first 8 have made the transition, and first 9, sorry, made the transition, are just in the process of getting involved, is in fact the IUL insurance industry. And so it's a very specific segment of insurance. And for all those that are sat here wanting to, stop watching now because like, you come here to talk me about insurance.
Yeah.
I hear you, right? I feel you. I
That
asked
was
them.
me. When you first said it on webinar, I was like, oh. And
Come.
then, yeah, as you were talking about the numbers and the earnings, and I'm like, wait a second. And then I started thinking back to people I know who are making egregious amounts of money who sell insurance, but I thought they were doing door to door, like, I don't know, MLM type stuff. But like, no, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I did this in my market research as well. Like, when I say insurance, what do you think? And one guy said, I need a shower. One person's face dropped, and I could see them looking at the leave button on the Zoom room. And I get it. Why? Because 98% of insurance agents quit in their first 12 months. Why? Because as an industry, it is hard. Everything has equal up and downside in life. The thing with the industry is it's a $1.03 trillion industry. The high ticket coaching space is an $11 billion industry. That's 93.6 times larger. Like, you look at it on a pie chart, we showed it on the Webby, like it's like that's high ticket, and the rest is insurance. Even the US insurance industry, like the insurance industry is it's a $5 trillion global industry. US insurance 1.03. It makes up 4.5% of the population of planet Earth, which is the US, makes up for 20% of the insurance industry. It's nuts.
Yeah.
You guys are insane. Like, your insurance industry, your credit industry are just bananas to me. But anyway, what that means is that 93.6 times more opportunity. That's going to be 1,000% more opportunity. So the reason why most people quit in their first year A couple of things. Number one, they have no sales training or no sales skills. They have no support system or structure. They're very much lone wolves. And so they go and get their license. And now they have to find somebody to sell it to. Who do they find? The people at arm's length. Mom, dad, auntie, uncle, friends, family, Facebook, college friends, etc. They become the prick at Thanksgiving that nobody wants to sit next to for fear of them trying to sling them an IUL, an insurance policy. The second reason is if they've tapped that market out, they have to go and buy leads. Now, buying leads in the insurance industry is an absolute minefield, because the cheaper leads, which you need when you don't have any income, have three characteristics which make them incredibly tough to work. Old, recycled, low intent, meaning they put their information in a long time ago, weeks, months, years at a time. Recycled meaning this lead has been sold to multiple agents. You could be the 400th person to be calling this person, and that is when you get blocked. You get people telling you to, go forth and procreate. Low intent meaning they may have not even put their information in to find out about insurance. One of the guys who's actually transitioning right now, he sold insurance 2 years ago. And he actually managed to sell some IUL policies off of these leads. But he said some of these people have put their information in to win a prize. And how do you get to call them up? It's just very, very, very hard. And so to do really well in insurance, you have to you have to eat a lot of shit. You have to then recruit a lot of other people, and then, have them work underneath you and hope that they do something and produce. And it's really, really hard to get past those first 12 months and to get some level of consistency, some level of recurring and residual income. The reason that I'm building this bridge is not to drop people out of the frying pan and into the fire. Not taking them out of high ticket to go through that for 12 months. The guy that I met a year ago, once I started hearing about how much money people were making off his system, I had to ask him, how? What is it you do? And he showed me, and I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen a company so dialed in with their systems, with the automations, but more importantly, with how they've reverse engineered a solution to every single problem in being successful in specifically IUL insurance policies. And so he himself was an insurance agent, licensed in 47 states, and chose the IUL segment for a couple of reasons. Number one, an IUL life insurance policy is a policy that has life insurance benefits, with hereditary benefits. But the main thing is it has a cash value component which compounds over time, linked to market performance. When the market goes up, the growth of your cash, basically the money that you've invested into there, goes up. When the amazing thing about it though is when the market drops, it has a bottom floor of 0%. It cannot lose money. It has a growth cap. It cannot grow more than 12%. So if the markets go up 20, you go up 12. If the markets go down 20, you stay the same. Phenomenal policy. So if you were to look at this policy versus a normal, term life insurance policy, the premiums are higher, but it's because it has real wealth building benefits, which also can help, pass on your wealth to those who you leave behind.
Yeah.
All of that says to me, rich people.
Yeah. Ideal prospects. My goodness.
Ideal prospects. And so, premiums can range from anywhere from on the very low end, $200 a month. Premiums of $1,000, $1,500 are not uncommon. They have a limit, but like $1,000 to $1,500 a month is not unheard of, not uncommon.
Yeah.
So it turns out from my research, the IUL segment of insurance is the fastest growing segment of all of insurance in the US. It's growing at 23.4% annually. The second place is only growing at 12.6%. It's doubling the pace of that. And the earning stats, we've gone through the median annual earnings of 147,000 on average, over $500,000 a year for the top 10th percentile. And it's all because of that, because it's a good policy. It's regulated by law, and the commission structure in insurance just beats the pants off of anything you can ever find in the high ticket industry. I'll get to that in a minute. The reason why his people do so well on his system is because he reverse engineered every single problem of being successful in insurance. So he turns leads from old to live in real time, recycled to exclusive, and low intent to high intent. And so for anybody looking to get into insurance or who's already in insurance, there are those are the three real things to be looking out for. If you were to want to, go off and do your own thing and go and find a lead provider, etc., or you're already buying leads, just screen them for that. Are they live in real time? Like they literally just now want the thing that I sell? Am I the only one getting to hit them up? And are they actually high intent? Do they actually want this thing that I'm selling? So the way he does it, very, very simple. Google leads. Most lead providers will just do Facebook and Instagram leads because they're cheaper. But who the hell is scrolling through Facebook and then suddenly pops an ad about about IUL insurance policies and thinks that's the very thing that I need right now? It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So with Google Leads, you need to be on the internet searching and typing in index universal life insurance. They then go into, if they click on the ad, they go into the funnel and they have a 13 questionnaire to fill out. If you don't want an IUL policy, you are giving up after the 8th question. There are questions in there about your health, your income, your assets, your this, your that. It's a very thorough questionnaire. They then have to verify their phone number at the end of it so that you know that it's a real phone number. Even that's a pain in the ass. I've got to verify it with my phone now before I submit it. They go through. They then come to, when he sets up a customized personal page with Princess Bonhomme, your name, your photo, a little bit about you, and a booking page for people to book in. Whilst they're there, the leaders now come into the custom CRM that he sets up through Go High Level, which is connected to a lead transfer to dial that person instantly. Your phone rings, you hit a button, and it dials the person. They pick up, you say, hey, it's Princess here. And they say, what, the person I'm looking at on the screen? They're like, yeah, that's me. Trips them out every time. Who do people go with in insurance? They go with the first person who gets to them. Why? Why shop around? An IUL is an IUL. So he solved speed to lead. He solved for high intent through massive friction. He solved for exclusivity. This lead is only coming to you based on the states that you're licensed in. So that person will put in the state, that then gets transferred to you if you're licensed in that state. If that person doesn't pick up, he's even built out the whole CRM with every single pipeline stage and automation and with reminders and nurture and information that you can think of. But it's also kitted out with conversational AI, not the integrated one in Go High Level, which isn't quite up to scratch yet. This thing, I've seen it in action. It's phenomenal. Obviously it's persistent, but it can answer any question on IUL policies that you can think of better than most agents can. And it will just push them through to be able to book a call for you to be able to work these leads. And so,
yeah, this is just so people can understand, like, this is the most ideal funnel ever. So it's like, even if someone's not particularly passionate about insurance, it's like, pick your poison. Would you rather turn up on calls all day where people are like, I don't know much about you, I just saw the ad, I don't know why I'm here? Or people who are like, I literally just Googled this 10 minutes or 5 minutes before you called me, and this is exactly what I want. So it's like, plus the income. That's that too.
Yeah,
so it's
we'll break that down in a second as well.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Think about how many offers you've been on where people are going through, one to three questions, hopping on a call with you if they show up.
Yeah.
If they show up and hopping on a call, what is it you guys do again? What is this all about? Oh, is it that thing? Is this a scam? Are you legit? So it even goes further.
Yep.
The insurance industry has been around for 284 years now. It's been around for a couple of centuries. It's regulated by law. Nobody's questioning if this thing works, if it's legit, if it's a scam. Yep. It's literally a thing that works. And so with the sales process, he has the marketing process, the sales system and the structure, and then the sales training, which is the other big piece that's missing that makes people quit in their first 12 months, is sales training. So one of his guys who's done no less than $60,000, so it's been anywhere between 60 and 70 for the last 13 months straight. Like, just let that sink in as well. Just do the math on that.
That's juicy. Oh my goodness. Again, this is not 10% of 60K. This
Yep.
is 60K in his pocket.
Oh yeah,
freaking nuts.
Correct. That's not cash collected. No.
Yeah.
That's cash collected in his bank account. And so he has a three call process, which just walks people. I've gone through the sales training myself. It could not be more straightforward. It just walks people through a process. It just walks them through the numbers. Once they see what that does for what the policy does for them numbers wise, it's an absolute no brainer. They get to pick. And here's the kicker, right? You don't have to squeeze a PIF, a 2-pay, or a 3-pay on them. They get to choose how much they put into it.
Yeah.
Of course, the more they put into it, then there's specifics around overfunding, etc. But that's just getting a bit technical. Essentially, they get to choose: do I want to put $200, $500 or $1,000 in there? Mm-hmm. So it's not even low pressure selling; it's no pressure selling. You just get to have a conversation with someone who wants the thing you want. And you can be as personable as you want. You can be as funny, as witty or dry and as formal as you want, because people just want the thing. They just want to talk to a human and just wanted a little bit of help getting it. That's that.
Yeah. I think what I'll do for the people who are maybe skeptical or just a little confused by the commission structure, I'll put a breakdown of the commission structure in the description, so that way they can see exactly how that works.
Amazing. Yeah. I can do a little walkthrough, at least verbally as well, just to kind of give an idea. So, because obviously you're probably wondering how many of these goddamn policies do I need to sell to hit $60,000, right? Well, one of his other guys, Jacob Johnson, he had a cold calling background from a call center. And so when he did this, he actually kept his full-time job. He was still doing it on the side. He did this for 4 weeks. In his first 4 weeks, he submitted $62,000 worth of commissions whilst keeping his full-time job off of 50 leads.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Not even 50 deals, just 50 leads, right?
That's 50 leads, correct. Yeah. And we're working on getting the breakdown from him of the exact amounts and the policy sizes, etc. But all he would do literally was, if he was at the call center, he was on a call and the warm transfer came in. Because think about it, 50 leads in 30 days. It's like a lead and a half a day. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy. So all he would do, he would say, "I'm so sorry, my wife is calling. I really need to take this." And he put himself on mute. He'd handle it, set the appointment, and then he'd go back to, "I'm so sorry." And then he just crack on. Nobody ever questioned it.
Nuts.
Like, right on. Yeah, I'd probably do the same if I knew I had the opportunity to leave a cold calling call center for and earn $60,000 a month. So all that to say, they're not working 9-hour days to do this. Yeah. The way the commissions work is, in insurance, you are paid based upon the total amount that the person puts in to their first 12 months of premium. So let's go for fairly simple math, $200 a month on the very, 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 very low end. $200 a month in monthly premium that you pay, spaced over 12 months, is $2,400. If you are on what's called a 100% contract, so with the insurance carrier, if you have a 100% contract, and the percentages vary. Some people put you on at 85%, 80%. If you're on a 50% contract, you would be owed 50% of the first year premium. So in that case, $2,400, $2,400 is the total target premium that year. If you're on a 50% contract, you get $1,200. If you're on a 100% contract, you get $2,400. So the way that gets broken down is 80% of that is paid up front. So that's $1,920 in that case. The other 20% is drip fed monthly over the other 11 months. Yes. So you get big commissions paid out up front, and the rest of it gets drip fed month on month on month, so that with every new policy, you're just adding to that little ticker that's just ticking over month after month after month, so that after in a year's time, you could be starting the month on $5,000 and you haven't even picked up the phone yet. And that's not going to go to zero the next month because your 2 pays, 3 pays run out. The other part of it is that for every year that that person renews their policy, you also get anywhere between sort of 2 to 5% of the total first year's premium you get as commission for as yearly for a renewal fee. And so again, nothing to write home about. That might be,
It'll stack up though.
it stacks. Why? Because the average lifespan of these policies is 12.7 years. It's a life insurance policy. So for 12.7 years on average, you're getting paid out every single year, again and again. And guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? Who's paying it out?
So,
Somebody who's heavily regulated. And
right.
a huge insurance carrier who's heavily regulated, guess when they pay it out? As soon as the policy gets accepted. You're not waiting around for the 14th when you get paid out and then looking at your bank account on the 21st and fuck all's in there. Because your 24-year-old marketer was busy checking out Lamborghinis and buying Teslas.
Yeah. Wow.
It's regulated by law. It gets paid out every single time policy gets accepted. You've got cash flow coming in constantly. You've got less time expended and you've got more money coming in. The very thing that we want. And can you, like, are you guys listening? Are you seeing what I'm seeing now? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
It's giving stability. It's giving big commission checks. It's giving work-life balance, which a lot of people, even though they come into this space to make all the sacrifices and stuff, people do still want to be able to live their life. So it's incredible on paper, and you don't have to worry about the instability because it is actually regulated and it's not just like random people who built a program. So that's cool.
Exactly. And so I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, yeah, okay, Adam, like we've all heard fancy OTEs. We've all had, nice numbers kind of mathed out in front of us and it all makes sense. Well, as I said, all of the people I've mentioned, Jacob Johnson doing 62K in his first month, Chris George not done less than 60K, David Fisher did $184,000 in 1 month. That was off of 50 IUL leads and another 50, or was it 75? Oh, I hate getting the numbers wrong. Another batch of annuity leads. So annuities are a different type of policy. So that obviously played a big part in that. Shadi did $84,000 in his first 10 days. And then he went on to put his team on this system, and his team does $400,000 a month for him now, and he doesn't even write any business. Eli Juarez was 101. Joey T, he September 1st to September 13th, $41,803. So he was on track for an 80K month that month. Like it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on. Yeah. I was looking at his leaderboard of his people. Like fifth place was on 25K in halfway through one of the months.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth place.
So some people are probably thinking, okay, this is dope. However, maybe they are 1 foot in, 1 foot out on doing this. What questions should someone ask themselves if they're not sure about the transition?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm sure a lot of it sounds a little bit too good to be true. Like, what's the catch? There's got to be a downside. Yeah, there is. There's up and down, there's equal up and downside in everything in life. And so I think what you got to do is just pick the upside that you want, given the downside that it has. And so one of the downsides, I guess, there's the downsides of the insurance industry as a whole. We've spoken about these are wholly mitigated by the system. So what happens next? You've still got to work the leads. You've still got to call people. You're still going to have people not know how to figure out Zoom. Still going to have people ghost you through the process. That's going to happen. You're going to get people who you submit a policy for and then it doesn't get accepted. You're going to have to manage that. There's going to be, there's going to be problems like there is with any sales process. That is going to happen. It's very, very simple. It doesn't mean that it's easy. The other catch or drawback, I guess, is that to enter into this industry, you need a license. Just the way you need a license to drive a car on the road, you need a license in insurance. And so that can be a little bit daunting for anybody that wants to undertake it themselves. If anybody does want to get into that, I highly recommend just having a quick chat with ChatGPT and Google. And there are some websites where you put in your state and that will just send you to the page where you need to sign up to the exam. And then what you can do some pre-license training. So there's basically like video training, flashcards, test exams, etc. So you can prepare for the exam just the same as you all did for your driver's license, where you went and did the theory, you did the tests, you practiced until you got it, and then you did the exam, and then you pass, and then you hit the road, right?
Yeah.
It's something that people can drag out because there's just a little bit of PTSD from school. Like, I've got to study for this shit. I've got to pass, fail. It costs a couple $100 between $100 and $300 to do it. And that can sometimes be a hurdle for people. And like, do you know what? Better the devil I know. And I get that. That's completely fine.
But the thing is, sorry, I just want to note, like, those drawbacks are not even that bad. Like, the first one, the sales stuff. It's like, if someone's already at closing, they're dealing with that stuff at scale anyway.
Yep.
So I don't think anyone's going to think it's a big deal. And then the studying part, it's like anyone who's a half decent closer is training hours every day. So it's not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're dropping 5 figures on their training rather than
exactly
$400.
Yeah.
And so, I just understand the psychology of people. I understand that can be a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'm going to have to spend this extra time doing that. For me personally, I would just encourage people just to look at the 20 days that it might take you to do that versus the next 20 months of your career, building something for somebody else, starting over from scratch 3.4 times per year on average, having marketing crash on you every 2.3 months on average, having offers pivot every 4.7 months on average, and having it cost you between $12,000 and $27,000 on average in lost income every single fucking time that happens, which leads to the stat of 7.2% of closers ever hitting their annual income goals. Well, no fucking wonder. No fucking wonder. So I would encourage people to zoom out and look at, is 20 days of me just doing the thing, which I'm kind of already doing anyway. I'm already working long hours. I'm already training. I'm already hustling. I'm already grinding. Can I just put that into a vehicle that is going to give me the opportunity to potentially earn $500,000 a year? Hell, even if it's a fucking $250,000 a year, right? Even if it's just 20 grand.
Yeah, it's so doable. Like, yeah, I can't get over the funnel. That's the biggest thing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The dream. People that actually want the thing you want, that you sell. People that actually trust that you can deliver on the result. I mean, people like in real time, right here, right now, not last week.
Yeah.
He's solved for every piece of the puzzle. And so, yeah, we do have a group up together. The first 9 are literally going through the process. We have our first kickoff call this Friday. For us to get cracked, but they're already in there doing the training. Some of them are were already in the process of getting their license, and so they've got their date set for their exams. Some of them already were in the process of getting their license, so they got their exam date set, and some already had their license. So all they have to do is they're getting helped by us to get their contracts moved over. As soon as those are done, they'll be going live. They're going through the specific IUL sales training that's laid out. We have a special training next Tuesday with Mr. David Fish, who did the 184K months. He's going to be training as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we're taking care of him. But anybody that's ever worked with me knows that if I do have anybody in my circle that I'm kind of feel responsible for, then I'll do everything I can to make sure that they're all right. I can't do everything, but I certainly do everything I can.
Yeah, and that is 1,000,000% true. So for people who want to get started with this and who do want to get access to that super optimal lead gen system, what's the first step for them to get started?
Yeah, so if they would like to just kind of have a little foray into the insurance industry themselves, obviously they've got to go and get the license, so get that sorted first. Go and find the pre-licensing training. And then they've got to find a good lead gen provider. The company that we're working with is called Alpha Agent. If they want to just approach them on their own, they can, obviously. If they want to come in and get a little help the way that we're helping other guys out, they obviously have a very special deal, because we want to make this accessible and build a good bridge for people and not have that as a barrier to entry. Best way then would be just to reach out to me on Facebook. Comment on under any of my posts. I'll obviously be posting a lot more and creating some YouTube videos to go into a lot more depth and give real live walkthroughs of what's going on. going to be doing a lot of interviews with the guys going through the process so they can explain their experience. And my big goal with all of this is just to be as truthful, honest, and transparent as I can, because I think we're all tired of the bullshit. I think we're all tired of the false promises, which is why everything I've done so far, I've backed up with a stat, with the data. I've expressed when it's my personal opinion, when it's not. And I also want to make sure that people see what the people going through, and they can see the process of getting the license or having the license already, and just lay it all out there for people. And then people, it's an option. That's all it is. I'm not saying anybody should do it. I'm not saying high ticket is a sinking ship. What I am saying is there is a place where you can leverage your skills. And the analogy that it just came to me on the webinar was, imagine earning US dollars and spending US dollars, and then moving to Colombia, earning US dollars and spending pesos. All else being the same, you're suddenly wealthier. And that's the big goal with this. So yeah, if anybody wants to get into it, have a good chat with ChatGPT and Google, figure out how to get your license, and then shop around for some good lead providers. Make sure that they're giving you live, exclusive, and high intent leads. And otherwise, come and have a chat to me, and we can help you out with all of that. We've got the pathway all laid out where we support you every step of the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this with the audience, because I know so many people are fed up with the BS. They work their ass off, and then marketing shits the bed, and they're like, oh, you're not doing well enough, jump into the CRM and call the old leads, all the crap. So yeah, this is such a dope option. And for those who are like on the fence about making a transition, just sit with it and ask yourself, well, which path would I rather choose? Which tough path, which scary path would you rather choose? Because that sounds like a walk in the park compared to what we're doing now. So I guess the challenge for the audience would be to embrace expansion.
Yeah, embrace expansion and embrace thinking differently. The world rewards original thinkers nowadays. Conventional thinkers tend to get used by the market. Original thinkers are the ones that get to use the market. And so I would encourage people to just question, just look outside the box, just be open and honest with themselves, and be open to other possibilities. I literally had a conversation this week with someone who said, I just can't see myself doing it. I'm supposed to have it all figured out by now. I'm supposed to be crushing it here. And I said, well, who told you that?
Yeah.
Who told you that? And what if the irony, she's about a decade younger than me, and I was like, I've had like 17 careers so far. I've done everything, and I'm like, I'm still alive. Nobody, I haven't landed in the hospital just yet. Not been arrested for anything yet. It's okay. It's not starting over. That's what I think I'd encourage people to see it as. It's not starting over. It's just switching lanes. It's just leveraging skills in a smart way. That's all I'd say. That's all I'd encourage people to consider.
Beautiful. Yes. So those of you who have questions, I'm sure you have questions, DM Adam. He has the answers. DM Adam. I'll put his info in the description where you can contact him. And of course, put your golden nuggets, put what you've learned in the comment section. And as always, don't forget to hold yourself to a higher degree so you can be the most effective leader you can be. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Princess. Bye, guys.